All right. Well, why don't we just let the dust settle a little and just kind of sink into our class? I'm sure we're all coming from busy days. Let's just lift our investment off of it and let it all just fall to the ground. It's a stressful time of year for a lot of people, and we're connected to people, so we feel them. And sometimes we get so busy that we don't bother to distinguish our feelings from the feelings of the people we're connected to. And the only way to really stop is to stop. So slow yourself way down. Tonight we're going to begin with moving up and down the mountain. So place your attention up here in your head center, a ball of light that goes above your head but encompasses the center of your brain and your center of your forehead simultaneously, as well as the back of your head. And just breathe from that space. As the mind comes in to pull you away, you're just going to release yourself back to that upper center. Do that now. Nothing to struggle against. Nothing to learn. Nothing to understand. Nothing to acquire. Nothing to become. Let it all go. Everything you need is present. It is enough. You are enough. On your next inhale, come down to the heart center. A big ball of light expanding from the center of your chest. Let go of the head and give yourself to the heart. Do this and nothing else. It's not hard. That's just a story you tell yourself. Stop telling the story and be at the heart. Come down to the lower center, just below the navel, a big ball of light. Right at the center of your body, below the navel. Anchor yourself there. Breathe from the lower center. rise back up to the heart. Be at the heart. Let easy things be easy. Back up to the head. Back down to the heart. down to the lower center. Back up to the heart. Back up to the head. Now, without leaving the head, let the light descend and also encompass the heart. Be in both places at once, connected by the spine, a central channel. Stabilize yourself at the head and the heart. There is no how. Just feel yourself in both places. And as you're doing that, just have a gentle awareness of the lower center. Just touch upon it with your feeling body. And let go of everything but these three centers. Let them find their harmony with each other. Okay, let's talk a little bit. Why does this work? Why does this change how you feel? Why does this change how you experience the moment? For change to happen, something has to be directed to change. What's changing? I think I want to talk to you tonight about concentration. I don't know about your world, but I've been feeling like my world has gotten a little expansive. You know, I see it in all the people around me, and I feel its influence in myself. There's just not as much energy to kind of pull things into order. And you have to actively seek it. We've talked before about how there are two main forces, kind of at a higher level of things. One is this projective force that just expands and pushes outwards. And then there's a contractive force that receives that projected force and disciplines it into form. You know, this happens during impregnation. A projective force sends a seed to an egg. They come together. It's received in a womb that then disciplines that energy into a very specific form that then comes out and has a life of its own. But in truth, you know, that's the reason why you often hear people speak in spiritual terms about masculine and feminine forces. You know, a lot of people, a lot of teachers, unfortunately, can take that to a very petty place. It's really just describing the mechanics of something. You know, if you ever hear a teacher start talking about men are this way and women are that way, you know you're in the wrong place. But, you know, conception is a joining of expansive and constrictive forces. One way I've heard this described that was not part of my original training, but I think is an interesting way to talk about it, is that one force is a kind of expansive, unraveling force, and then one force is a constrictive force that kind of works you and puts you through your paces and your lessons. You know, if you have too much expansive force, the power of that gets lost if it isn't then contained in a constrictive vessel of some sort. There are many, many different constrictive vessels for every level of manifestation. On the physical level, you've got your body. But your mind also has a constrictive component to it. When we have you moving up and down the mountain in that way, going from the higher to the middle to the lower centers and back, what we're doing is we are taking the projective force that is keeping you alive, keeping you awake, and we are limiting its movement, aren't we? We're containing it. We're limiting it to 3 different spheres in the body. And those areas have their own properties. You know, there is a different feeling at the lower center than there is at the upper center, than there is at the middle center that unites them. But you know, if you contained it to just about anything, you would experience relief. If I had you just meditate on the word pizza, you would start to feel divine energy. And that doesn't mean that pizza is a divine mantra. it actually tells us a little something about the problem. You know, you don't have a choice to engage in this expansive contractive dichotomy or not. That's not up to you. To participate in this world, to have a mind, a personality, and a world to walk through, you are always participating in that. Problem is, you're doing it on automatic pilot. It's kind of an interesting exercise and something you should really do this week. To actually assess your day through the lens of what kind of shape you disciplined that projective force into. You know, it's the reason why you are the friends you keep, right? These people direct your attention, and they direct your attention according to the things they look at. And it changes you. That's how most communication works in life. You know, romantic interactions. You know, you're usually aware if somebody is hitting on you. If someone is sexually charged and you place your attention on that, you become that yourself. Your projective force fills that form, and you can feel its nature. I say that just because that's one of those things that usually you go from a moment of just nothing into this kind of intense experience, right? I think most people have experienced that. But it happens in smaller ways. It's a huge part of communication. You know, one of the reasons that you feel what you feel in a class like this, you know, even before you know how to meditate or even understand what spiritual life is about, is because you give your attention to somebody who is silent inside and released. You know, that's the biggest prerequisite for me to sit here, because I become something that you can look at and get a feeling of what that spiritual path is, what it means to be in that space. It gets you closer to it, and then I can direct your attention a little bit. So this projection and contraction is the essence of communication. Even your words work that way. You know, you have the tone of the words, you have the rhythm of the speech. You know, you might not notice it consciously, but your body can feel when someone like me speaks that there's no rush to get to the end of the sentence. Comfortable pauses between sentences. It's different than when you sit with somebody who is scrambling to find something to say. You can feel that, can't you? So the meditation that I teach you, I would say, is very expansion heavy. It has more of the projective force. And I do that because most of you are like little bombs that need to be diffused. You know, you've got all of these stories which themselves are a disciplined shape. but one that got put together unconsciously, just according to your fears and desires. And so one of the biggest things people need to do early in their spiritual training is learn how to let go of that form. And so everything is a letting go, letting go, letting go. But you also need to learn concentration. Meditation is neither concentration, nor is it just the pure projective force. Meditation is the balance, the conscious, wakeful balance between those two things. Because in order for you to concentrate on anything, you have to let go of whatever you were concentrating on before. For most of you, you come here and it's just this big mess that you call life, right? It's this system of stories that we've talked about a million times. And that system of stories has a feeling that comes out of it when you fill it with your projective force. So we let go and shift our attention. That shifting of the attention is a constriction. That letting go allows the projective force to fill the new object of our attention. And in the process, you have realizations that change how you live your life, that change how you use your mind. You know, if something that is so real to you is causing you suffering, and then someone like me comes in and makes you shift your attention, and for that period of time, that suffering lifts off of you, your body starts filling back up with comfortable energy, well, that has implications. It has implications for how much choice you have as to how you feel. One of the biggest lessons you could ever learn, and you won't get it just from me saying it, but one of the biggest lessons you can ever learn is that these things are not hanging on to you. You're hanging on to them. You are looking at a form. You are approximating an understanding of that form according to your own personal stuff. And then you are filling that form with that mysterious force that just flows whenever you give your attention to something. And based on that shape, there's a reverberation of feeling. And if your story, if your shape has structures in it, structures in the storyline about being stuck, then you'll develop beliefs that keep you from changing it. But a class like this shows you that that isn't true. You shift it and it goes away. So while we practice letting go, I want you to also be aware that we're shifting our attention, and that shift in attention is a constriction, a subtle constriction. In the beginning, people will misunderstand and think that it takes a lot of willpower in order to hold a shift in the attention. But what it really takes is a letting go of the things that are not the object of your attention. You notice it when you move from the head center to the heart. You have to let go of the head to do that. There's a difference of just being at the heart center versus just being at the head versus being at all three centers. So why don't we practice that in a different way? We'll do concentration. And I want you just to notice that part of you that feels like it has to use willpower to hold yourself there. What's really needed is just willingness. Are you willing? Yes, I am. And you let go of that other thing. You let go and you focus on the new point in attention. So let's just take a word. So here's what we'll do. On every exhale, you are going to say the word peace inside your head. You're going to say it with full focus on that word all the way to the end of the breath. And then on the inhale, you're going to open up and just be aware of silence. Then you're going to exhale, peace. Inhale, and you will just be aware of the silence. Not the word silence, but actual silence. Let's try that now. Eyes open, just let them fall to some spot in front of you or on the floor. And I want you to let go of everything except this practice. You're going to make it your home. You're going to be aware if you start to deviate from it, and you're going to bring yourself back. The bringing yourself back is concentration. The letting go of everything else is actually removing concentration from something else. That willingness to do that, that is the projective force. Are you willing? Yes, I am. Yes, I'm willing. Very different from willpower. In willpower, you're fighting against yourself. In willingness, you're just making a new focal point your home. Exhale, peace. Give yourself this experience. Keep going. Let it build. You can see the word peace on the screen of the mind during the exhale, but release it for the inhale. Can you feel how much stronger the energy is up in your head when you do that? I bet some of you even found that your eyes were stinging a little bit. It's a tighter form than what I usually have you do. It's more constricted. And because it's more constricted, you are concentrating that energy into a smaller mental space. This week, I'd like you to work a little bit with some tight focus. Take a word and say it on every exhale. See if you can do it for 10 minutes. See if you can do it without distraction. Most people will be distracted in the beginning, but it'll get better. And that skill makes other forms of meditation easier. It also moves more energy through your body, which is a good thing. If you want, you could do peace at the forehead, at the upper center, love at the heart center, and how about health at the lower center? That way you can charge all three of those while really learning concentration. But again, the struggle that ensues when you are trying to concentrate is not a matter of holding more strongly. It's a matter of letting go of what's pulling against it. Is that clear? That's the skill to learn. Not to become pushier with your mental force, but to learn how to direct your willingness. It's different. Not well understood. I'd like you to work with that this week. Are there any questions about that? All right, everybody. Well, I hope the rest of your holidays are good. I guess I will see you after the new year. So I will see you all in 2023. Thanks, everybody. And you're welcome, Sarah.